All right, let's dive into a pretty wild idea that's bubbling up in the Bitcoin world. What if the most valuable assets on the blockchain aren't things we create, but things we discover? This whole concept is called digital matter, and honestly, it could completely flip how we think about digital value.
I mean, think about it. Almost every crypto token you've ever heard of was invented, right? A team came up with an idea and built it. But what if that's not the only way? What if value could just be found, like a scientist discovering a new element hidden in plain sight within the data of Bitcoin's own blockchain? That's the huge shift we're digging into today, moving from invention to pure discovery.
So, how in the world do you even start looking for something like that? Where's the map? Well, that's where a new framework comes in. It's called digital matter theory, and it's basically the guide for this whole new adventure. Okay, so digital matter theory, or DMT, asks us to look at the Bitcoin blockchain in a totally new light. It's not just a boring old ledger of transactions. Instead, I want you to picture it as this massive, unexplored universe of raw digital matter. Every single block ever mined is like its own unique element on a digital periodic table, each with its own properties just sitting there, waiting to be found. And this slide just nails the difference. On the right, that's what we're all used to. Tokens that are invented by a team. Like a factory making widgets. But on the left, that's the new idea. Non-arbitrary tokens, or NATs. These aren't made, they're discovered, kind of like a geologist finding a seam of gold. Their existence is an objective fact that's already written into the blockchain's history, not just an idea from some white paper. So if we're talking about a new periodic table, what's the first element that's been discovered? Well, let's meet the NAT token. It's the very first fungible asset to emerge from this whole idea of digital discovery. The really cool part is how simple this is. And get this, it requires 0 changes to Bitcoin's code. Here's how it works. Every time a miner finds a new block, a protocol just looks at a specific piece of data that's already in that block's header. Based on that data, a certain amount of NAT is automatically created and given to that miner. It's basically a natural byproduct of the work they're already doing. And this is what makes DMT-NAT so unique. It's not some separate project that's just bolted on top of Bitcoin. Its very existence is tied directly to the mining process itself. That means it gets to borrow Bitcoin's legendary security, its insane computing power, and its core DNA. It's truly woven into the fabric of the network. Okay, so why does this matter? Well, it's trying to tackle a huge looming challenge for Bitcoin, keeping the network secure for the long haul. The rewards for miners get cut in half every 4 years, and eventually they're going to get pretty small. So what keeps the miners working then? And this is where DMT-NAT comes in as a potential solution. It's designed to be this perpetual second subsidy for miners. It gives them another revenue stream, another reason to keep securing the network. And the best part? It does this without messing with Bitcoin's sacred 21 million coin supply. It's just an extra reward for a job well done. And this isn't just a theory anymore. It's gaining some serious traction. We're talking about major mining pools, giants like F2 Pool and Ant Pool, who are already on board. Together, these guys represent over 60% of Bitcoin's entire global hash rate. That level of buy-in shows that the big players are taking this experiment very seriously. So, okay, the miners are interested. That's huge. But what else is being built? Let's take a peek at the ecosystem that's starting to grow around this new digital element. I love this analogy because it just makes everything click. There's another asset based on this theory called Bitmap, which basically treats entire Bitcoin blocks like unique plots of digital land. And in this new digital world, NUT is being set up to be the currency, the money you use to do stuff there. So you have the land and you have the currency, the two basic pieces of a new economy. And the use cases are really starting to pop up all over the place. We're seeing NAT used in DeFi right on Bitcoin's main layer, in metaverse projects that are creating these wild 3D visualizations of the blockchain, and even as a tool for indexing data. It's starting to look like a really versatile building block for a whole new wave of applications. But, and this is a big but, we have to be realistic. This is frontier technology. And that means for all the exciting potential, there are some really serious risks. Let's take a clear-eyed look at the road ahead. The community behind NAT is, well, they're not thinking small. They've set this super ambitious target of a $1 billion market cap. They're even pushing it with the hashtag NAT to 1B challenge. It definitely shows you how much belief the early adopters have in this thing. But let's bring that ambition back down to earth for a second. Right now, the market cap is sitting around $10 million. That's a long, long way from $1 billion. This is a very new, very early stage asset. And as you can see, the price is down big from its all-time high. That tells you everything you need to know about the extreme volatility here. So let's be super clear about the hurdles. The value is incredibly volatile. It's still a pretty unknown project that's got to fight for attention and adoption. It's also facing stiff competition from other new protocols on Bitcoin. And at the end of the day, its success depends entirely on getting enough miners and developers to stick with it for the long term. This is absolutely in the high-risk, high-potential bucket. And that really brings us to the final question, doesn't it? Is this whole digital matter theory and its first creation, NANT, the start of a brand new paradigm for value on Bitcoin, a real shift from making things to finding them? Or is it just a really cool, fascinating experiment that will always be a niche corner of the crypto world? For now, only time will tell.